Structure and Timing Overview Act 1. Origins in Legend. 008 o'clock. Mesopotamian Demons, Greek Lamia, and Slavic Folklore. Act 2. The Great Vampire Epidemic. 8 o'clock 1600, 18th century Eastern Europe. Peter Plogojewicz, Arnold Paulet, and Medical Explanations, Porphyria, Rabies, Decomposition. Act 3. From Monsters to Aristocrats, 1600-2400, Lord Byron, John Polidori's The Vampire, and Sheridan Le Fanu's Carmilla. Act 4. Bram Stoker and Cinema, 2431. 00. Dracula, 1897. Nosferatu, 1922, and Universal Monsters. Act 5. Modern Reimagining and Outro. 31. 0035. 00. Interview with the Vampire, Twilight, Pop Culture Shift, and Wrap Up. Act 1. The Birth of the Myth. 008 o'clock. Visual. Eerie background music fades in. Fast cuts of historic woodcuts, flickering candlelight, and medieval maps of Europe. Long before Dracula stalked the shadows of Victorian London, humanity was obsessed with a single terrifying idea: that the dead could return to feed on the living. But where did this nightmare actually begin? Voiceover. On-screen B-roll. Show ancient Sumerian tablet illustrations and depictions of night demons. To track the origin of the vampire, we have to go back thousands of years. Long before the word vampire ever existed, ancient civilizations created night-stalking entities to explain disease, sudden death, and the unknown. Mesopotamia. In ancient Sumeria and Babylon, people feared the Lilitu and the Ikinu, spectral beings that target mothers and young infants, sucking their vitality. Ancient Greece and Rome. The Greeks spoke of Lamia, a queen transformed into a child-devouring monster, and the Impusa, a shape-shifting demon sent by Hecate to feed on young men. Slavic roots. The true prototype of our modern vampire comes from Slavic folklore. The root word, upr or upri, emerged in the early Middle Ages. To Slavic peasants, a vampire wasn't a noble wearing a cape. It was a bloated, red-faced corpse returning to torment its family and village. Act 2. The 18th century epidemic and real-world panic. 8 o'clock 1600, visual. Map zooming into Serbia and Austria-Hungary. Dramatic reenactments, art of graves being exhumed by torchlight. In the early 1700s, vampire panic erupted into a widespread public health crisis across Eastern Europe. Voiceover, on-screen B-roll. Display historical newspaper clippings and medical reports from the 1720s to 1730s. Two infamous cases pushed vampires from local superstition into official military reports. Peter Plogojewicz, 1725. After his death in a Serbian village, 9 people died within a week after claiming Peter visited them in their sleep. Austrian officials oversaw his exhumation, reporting his body hadn't decomposed, his hair and nails had grown, and fresh blood smeared his mouth. Arnold Paulet, 1726. A soldier who claimed to have been bitten by a vampire in Ottoman-controlled territory. After his death, locals staked his body, reporting a terrifying groan as blood spurted out. Host. On-screen graphics. So what was actually happening? Modern science gives us clear answers to what terrified 18th century peasants. Decomposition. Normal post-mortem swelling, skin retraction, making nails look longer, and purge fluid coming from the nose, mouth were mistaken for signs of life. Disease. Outbreaks of rabies, pellagra, and tuberculosis caused symptoms like light sensitivity, pale skin, and wasting away. Act 3. Gothic literature and the romantic vampire. 1600-2400. Visual. Smooth transition to Victorian aesthetics, dark libraries, and quill and ink illustrations. Voiceover. On-screen B-roll. In the 19th century, writers transformed the filthy, bloated corpse of peasant folklore into an alluring, aristocratic antihero. 1816, the year without a summer, at Villa Diodati near Lake Geneva, Lord Byron, Mary Shelley, and John Polidori held a ghost story contest. While Shelley conceived Frankenstein, Polidori created the vampire, 1819, introducing Lord Ruthven, the first cultured, aristocratic vampire based on Byron himself. 1872, Carmilla. Sheridan Le Fanu wrote Carmilla, introducing the female vampire archetype and exploring themes of Gothic romance and forbidden desire. Act 4. Bram Stoker and the Cinematic Revolution. 2431. 00. Visual. High-contrast black and white imagery, movie posters of Nosferatu, 1922, Bela Lugosi, and Christopher Lee. In 1897, an Irish manager of London's Lyceum Theatre published a novel that defined the genre forever. Voiceover, on-screen B-roll. Bram Stoker's Dracula combined folklore, Victorian anxiety over immigration and disease, and real historical figures like Vlad the Impaler. Vlad III Dracula, silent film era. F. W. Murnau's unofficial 1922 adaptation, Nosferatu, brought Count Orlok to life. Rat-like, terrifying, and grotesque. Golden Age of Hollywood. Bela Lugosi's 1931 performance codified the slicked back hair, formal suit, and hypnotic gaze. Hammer horror. In the 1950s to 70s, Christopher Lee brought vibrant color, blood, and visceral horror to the role. Act 5. Modern evolution and conclusion. 31. 0035. 00. Visual. Fast montage of Interview with the Vampire, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Blade, Twilight, and What We Do in the Shadows. As society changed, so did our vampires. Anne Rice gave them internal morality and existential dread. The late 90s and 2000s turned them into action heroes, misunderstood romantic leads, and eventually comedy parodies. Closing statement. The vampire is the ultimate mirror of human anxieties. Whether reflecting our fear of disease, our anxieties about death, or our fascination with eternal youth, the vampire adapts to every generation. And as long as humans fear the dark, the vampire will never truly die. Visual. Outro screen with call to action. Subscribe, like, comment on your favorite vampire iteration. Fade to black.